gained weight. The nigga done lost weight, lifted weights or some shit doing with some weight.
So he big as hell now.
Man, they said nigga got muscles and shit, man. So he ain't bullshit this time.
I like red balls, I like light skin, next light, hello.
GFN, that's fantastic. Fantastic, GFN, that's fantastic. Fantastic, GFN, that's fantastic. Fantastic, GFN, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
That's good, fantastic.
I like red balls, I like light skin, next light, hello.
GFN, that's fantastic. Fantastic, GFN, that's fantastic. Fantastic, GFN, that's fantastic. Fantastic, GFN, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
That's good, fantastic.
Yo, what up? What up? What up? Y'all know the deal, man. Like and share, like and share, like and share. So we get this thing out everywhere. There's anywhere in the world it could be. You just told me right here with me to be a BGOG. And I appreciate y'all pull up on me. And my guest today, Miss Alexis K. Tyler. Hello.
Hey.
How's everything?
Hey. Fine.
Great, great. Cool. So as I was telling you before, you are well worked into a part of my just the comedic part of my platform. When I'm doing everything, you know what I'm saying? I say you got to get to the bottom of that pussy. You know what I'm saying? I use the clips and everything from your from your older content. So today we just gonna go through basically the the internet sensation that is you. For the people that don't know, you do have a current YouTube channel, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, she has a current YouTube channel. Let me see what I think it's at Alexis K Tyler 9, like all one word, the number 9 at the end. And she does celebrity readings and pretty much talks about current events and things in the entertainment industry. And give me or explain to the people, because I don't want to mess it up, your title and your I guess ability.
No, you're doing fine. It's called AKT Celebrity Reads. Celebrities that were physically murdered. I have an ability. I was born this way. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. My mother is a preacher, evangelist, and a seer. my grandmother, my great grandmother, my uncles and aunts, they're a long line. Some of them are Native American, as well as Native American, half black, half white, that are also preachers, evangelists, seers, herbalists. So I'm not the only one that was observed having this ability. My grandmother started to work with me when I was younger. I didn't understand why I got the visions, or when I would go to the funeral home, I could actually look at someone's body lying there during a wake, and I could see them standing beside the body and hear them speaking. And so my grandmother would send me to different hospitals or hospices where they said someone was dying. She wanted me to go see what I saw wrong with them, because I'm also what you call a medical intuitive. And you know what? It's such a shame that in the Black community, Mr. Fantastic, they don't acknowledge people that have these abilities and acknowledge children, because in the white community, even there are white doctors, medical doctors that secretly work with medical intuitives, or are medical intuitives themselves, and also medical doctors, so they can work within that world and secretly, not be able to say anything, because you can't really, there's no definition, or I think a legal way you can calmly move through there and say you're a medical doctor, you're also a medical intuitive. But now it's more open. There are medical doctors that also have holistic medicine parts of their business. It's more open now, but in the Black community, you're called crazy, you have a mental problem, people laugh and make fun of it. However, Mr. Fantastic, thank you for allowing me to be here to talk about this. With me, as I said, with my grandmother, she would ask me, what did I see? I would go physically go to the person that was in hospice or in the hospital. I would write down what I saw, and I would tell my grandmother. She wouldn't tell them what I was. She would test it, as you call it, testing the spirit. She would tell the family to tell her what's going on. Then she would come to me and we would verify what I had written down without speaking to anybody, or some of the doctors would be open and listen to what I had to say and find out the problem and create the solution. So when I do AKT celebrity reads, these are people that are physically dead, that are yet still alive. I believe I talk to them and hear from them. So I transcribe the messages and I give it in the reading, just like, for example, Nipsey Hussle. When he was assassinated in 2019, from 2019 up until now, I have constantly said he gave me a message. He is half Eritrean. So not only for the Eritreans, but also the Ethiopians, and warned us over here, since he loved us as well. He split those two cultures and those two worlds and loved both of them. Stay off of the Boeing jets, 747, 757, the 3 series, the numbers 3 series with the Boeing jets, that there are technical difficulties, that the FAA is outdated with their technical system running the jets. Now, if you don't believe me, you can see those readings where I've said it, and you can watch the news. Actually, I saw another article yesterday and today, Southwest Airlines, that's a Boeing jet.
So actually, so you said this was back in, you've been saying this since, you said 2019, right? Since
Nipsey was assassinated at his beloved marathon. Yes, I've been warning the public. Yes, about the Boeing jet.
Yeah, and we know, like I said, yeah, they've had a it was a big kerfuffle with the guy that was, because you remember the dude that came out and he did a lawsuit. He ended up somehow unaliving himself. You know what I mean? When he's supposed to testify and pretty much expose the stuff that was messed up with the aircraft, with that series of jets, like you said.
I know he didn't do it, and I think there was another one that came out. I'm not sure if he was killed as well. And I told people also about planes, airplanes, trains, buses, and cruise ships. I can actually give you a screenshot. You can see it on my page. I said that Nipsey told me there was going to be real bad viruses on the cruise ships. There's sex trafficking on the cruise ships. People would be killed on the cruise ships, come up missing. I said that people were going to be vomiting out of the top, the mouth, and the bottom part of the body on airplanes, and that trains would start derailing. I said this, 2023, 22 or 23? I said it. See, I say these things before they happen.
Yeah,
If you
like you said,
go look at my videos, then look at the date of it, and then look at when them trains start jumping that track, derailing. That's why I don't care about people saying, "Oh, she's a conspiracy theorist, she's mentally ill," because you can check my footwork on my readings.
and
And when
so
I say diseases, I talked about COVID before it happened. I talked about bad upper respiratory virus, the bird flu, the mad cow disease coming back and being mixed into a strain, Ebola, which is another form of that, is Marduk. My readings are intense, and yeah, I got in trouble with YouTube before because they said you are speaking about medical things that you have no proof of until they come true. Just like YouTube took a video down of me.
Misinformation. So yeah, I had
What?
a whole thing I was doing. I was talking about that. You know, the whole CV thing, right? And I almost got my channel deleted because, like I said, I was telling the same truths, and it's
No, but it came true, Mr. Fantastic. Like what I said about the COVID viruses. I said that women were going to start having spontaneous abortions, miscarriages, bleeding, upper respiratory problems, blood clots. I said this like 2 years ago, and then they sanctioned me until what? A couple of months ago. Pfizer and some of the other companies admitted, and the CDC admitted these things were actually happening. YouTube didn't bother me anymore. Because now this has been stated as a legal fact and a medical fact. They can't bother you and say you're a conspiracy theorist when these things actually come true.
Yeah, man. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. I got you right here.
You can look at some of my videos. What I have said, they left me alone because I have the medical and the legal facts from the CDC, printouts from Pfizer, and lawsuits.
So let me.
That's why I'm not. Yeah.
So let me show you this right here, right? So this just came out today or yesterday. So the Army has officially linked. This is a source. So YouTube, you can't say I'm making this up. This is not medical misinformation. This is United States Army linked soldiers' heart condition to COVID vaccine. Former CBS News journalist reports. Okay,
What?
right
Send me that.
I'll put it in the back chat. So you go. I'm gonna put the link. In the here you go.
Thank you.
No problem. And you know, I just retired from the military last year. Retired from the Navy, and they were trying their best. You know, I unfortunately, because I didn't understand and I was not explained my legal rights and all these different things, so on and so forth. They got me with the first one, but I didn't take the mRNA shit. I didn't do the mRNA thing. I did the Johnson & Johnson joint because I just knew, you know, how the mRNA stuff was, right? But so they only offered the mRNA vaccines on the boat, and they was trying to force me to take it. And I told them no, I didn't want to take it. So they didn't let me off the boat. So I missed out on the opportunities. You know what I'm saying? I missed out on I think 2 or 3 ports, and I literally had to fight the whole people in order for me to be able to get off the boat without taking taking the booster vaccine, the mRNA. So yeah. So
I'm so glad you did not take the booster. Now I read for another country, they said they're going to contact people and ask them to get revaccinated because the temperature of the shot wasn't as cold as supposed to be and as effective. So they want to revaccinate them.
Yeah. So like you said, so let's stay there, right? So what do you think the disconnect is with Black people in understanding the spiritual aspect, you know, or not understanding, I guess acknowledging the spiritual aspect of just, you know, living? Why do we have such an issue and problem?
No, they don't misunderstand. They don't know. You're taught that Jesus is your savior and that the preacher is an extension of God Almighty and that Jesus sits on the right hand of the Father. So anything that you have an issue with, you go to this Jesus to fix all of your problems. And they're not telling you that God is within you. People based on their bloodline are blessed with certain abilities. And I acknowledge all of the ancestors that lived and that physically died that I'm an accumulation of. I deal with chakras, auric fields, and that people don't die and go rest in a grave until Jesus come back for the second coming and call their spirits and resurrect them out of a goddamn graveyard. You know, they do not acknowledge it. They say that I'm a soothsayer and I'm a demon. that God didn't give me this gift, and I was born this way. Nobody taught me this. I was showing these abilities as a child, as a little girl, and they tell you don't respect it. Now, if I was in a church, I would be a prophetess, and this would be a spirit of discernment. But because I was not accepted in a church, and my mother was a disgusting human being, and she's like a lot of these human beings that are preachers and have abilities, but abuse their kids and abuse their congregation, on drugs, do all kinds of shit. I grew up seeing that firsthand. That's why I don't respect it. Unless I can see someone truly having the Spirit of God within them. But God, to me, is not a religious being. You don't have to become religious or get baptized or saved to have this God within you. You are born this way, and you are given this through your bloodline and your ancestors that pick you. They're not taught to respect that. They're not taught to see that. Oh, if you read tarot cards, you're a demon. Oh, if you talk about chakras and meditation and auric fields and yoga, you're a demon. I see these videos on YouTube, and they're taught to dismiss people like me. And like you said, what you just showed is a prime example of what I've been saying since 2019. Even when they show I'm correct, they'll say that Satan is the father of lies, but Satan also knows the truth as well. She's the devil. That's why it's not respected.
Oh, that's wild. Okay, so so your mom. So people that don't know, the lady that used to do your sit down videos with you, that was your mom, correct?
Yeah, the heavy set light skin lady. That's my biological mother. Yes.
Biological mother. Okay. And the point of contention with her is pretty much like you had a rough. I don't say horrible, but you had a pretty rough childhood.
No, it was horrible, and it wasn't just as a child. It didn't stop. My mother was still abusing me as an adult and a narcissist, and like to follow her daughters around, put them down, tell lies to our men. She's a whore. She's out sucking dicks right now. And I'm like, I'm sitting in the house doing an interview or, writing my next script for my next show. When I was on public access, tell a lot of filthy lies, like to start chaos, watch your man turn on you. Why? And back then, I'm glad it's changing now, but it's like, well, if your mother says it, your mother knows you better than anybody, so it has to be true. My mother didn't know me. My mother wasn't even fucking around the first 12 years of my life. She was in and out. My grandmother raised me down here in the projects. So I call my grandmother mother. I never call her mother. I call her by her first name. She is a disgusting human being. And she has mental problems and was always abusive. Even when I had a legal name change and changed my name to Alexis K. Tyler, she felt the need to abuse me for that and tell me I was wasted sperm cells. So this was something I realized I had to heal that wounded inner child, and because I was chronologically grown, and I had to cut that cycle off. And it's a lot of women that don't know how to do that, and a lot of so-called Black women that are grown as far as chronologically grown, but still let their narcissistic mothers terrorize, abuse them because the wounded little girl is looking for love inside of that grown woman's body, and they let them insult them because they're hoping one day she will come around. That's where I used to be. I'm no longer there. So I talk about these because they tie into sexuality. They tie into the men that you fuck.
Okay,
And
so before we get there, you're speaking from the female perspective, right?
I'm also talking about men. It's men that have been abused and hurt by their mothers too.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So I like to give a lot of credence to that too, not necessarily from the spiritual situation, but like you said, the psychological situation, right? The psychological angle, and how they're very, very manipulative. And they purposely don't tell their sons the ways of women, so their sons can't see those things in them.
And they abuse and molest their sons, and they open them up to let men and women do this to their sons, just like they do to their daughters. But everything from what I see is a soul wounding and a spiritual wounding before it becomes psychological, because you are not a physical being. You are a spirit being, a soul being in this body that's connected to the mind that's created. But that mind is still fed spiritually, mentally, emotionally, the intangibles that you're taught not to respect, that you cannot see. Even if you deal with the psychological part, you get drugs, you get therapy, there is still a soul retrieval that needs to take place due to the trauma. There's a soul wounding. Many people don't know themselves and they have split personality disorders because when you are traumatized a lot, your soul actually exits the body, or it's out, partially hanging out of the body, and you have a problem with your identity as a woman, identity as a man, because you're wounded as a little girl and a little boy, and you need to be groomed into the adult part as a baby, as a child.
Okay, great. All right, cool. So I'm from Macon, Georgia, originally. That's my whole family's from Georgia, and I actually talked about this a couple of times. I called my sister and we talked about this on the first day. Have you she used to get what do you call it? I think you guys were referred to it as thrush. She would get thrush, and she wasn't being abused or nothing like that, and so on and so forth, right? But the reason why I know there's a level of spirituality and that those people with gifts, right, to able to do things like that. They took my sister to, I think they either called her like a fire talker or like a whisperer or something. Took my sister to this lady, took her in the house. My sister said my sister opened her mouth up. The lady like whispered in her mouth. She don't know what she was saying or whatever. And my sister never ever had thrush ever again in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like never. So
Right.
the spiritual, physical healing concept, like you say, it's definitely real. It definitely exists. Even they've had scientific studies to where people that it's one study of a person that actually died of hypothermia, even though the room never ever reached hypothermic levels, because their mind, they were told that they were freezing, they were told they were cold. So like you said, that the power of the mind and the physical to metaphysical, you know what I mean, connection is truly great. And like you said, science supports some of these things too. It's just that people don't want to I guess acknowledge it, because then you're a weirdo, conspiracy theorist, like you say, you're a demon worshiper, all these different things. But I think
Well, there are people in the military that say, and they also secretly work for the CIA as psychics and remote viewers, as well as Russia has openly admitted. You can see them on YouTube. They had psychics spying on other countries to give them information. So just like Ronald Reagan and his wife openly said, they don't make moves without an astrologer. All these people on the top are very spiritual and heavy into the occult, along with the entertainers. Every entertainer, whether it's a rapper, a singer, or actor, a dancer, when they physically die and they come see me and they ask me to put food and candles on the altar for them, they always mention that the entertainment industry is controlled by high-level occultists, Satanists, and Illuminati's, the light bearers, Lucifer bearers. The Lucifer is in the Bible, one of the most beautiful and the most talented musical artist being that God had created. And when he went against God and fell with the other fallen angels, they now called demons, he took over the music industry. So he knows how to set free and to bind people. So when they have the white parties, they are honoring the illuminated one, Lucifer. There is no artist, even when I just did the reading on Enchanted, that will come in here and they refuse to acknowledge the occult. These are highly spiritual people who deliberately suppress the masses, and the illuminated ones and the 13 families rule the top. But the U.S. government has secretly used psychics and remote viewers, and some of them actually talk about it. You can see it on YouTube. So they know what it is.
cool. Okay. So your celebrity readings. Like I said, I stumbled back into you during, I guess, like I don't know if it was the height or the Diddy thing had been pretty much exposed. And you were going through the situation and you were talking about the midget. You talking about
It's a whole gay midget group. Told me they have the female midgets, the male midgets, black, white. They have models. They have prostitutes. They have anything you could want. Whatever your fetish is, when you get into that industry, they have a category to fulfill your needs in there.
Okay, cool. Exactly. So let's talk about, like you said, so Enchanted, right? So would Enchanted be have considered pretty much like a sex kitten or someone used for sexual gratification in the music.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they do it to all the girls. It's not just her. The men as well. Like the men talked about Diddy. They're gonna, if they're young and beautiful, even if they're not. We deal with Kardashians and the mother. They're older, still in the sex club, still having to perform, but they're high-ranking witches. Kardashian and her family and the mother are very powerful rich witches, and that's also based on their bloodline. You will see some of these artists, different races, black and white and Persian, they're going to bring them in based on the birthday, the talents associated with it, the sign, and the bloodline. So she was one of the ones low ranking that they decide to keep them at a certain level. And she had men around her, men and women that were prostituting just like her. And when I say prostitute, it doesn't mean she sold her body for sex. I don't see she did that. It means that you're prostituted around, and especially if you are light soul, light meaning you came here to bring change and to heal people, and you're really not on evil, malevolent beings. They will take that light in you and fill you with demonic entities through the drugs and through the sex acts, because all those men are either bisexual or have committed murder by getting people on drugs and putting them in the sex trade and sending them to Saudi Arabia and being a part of the whole underground sex trafficking that they have within the music industry. If you don't have someone that's already wealthy in that industry or born into a family that will protect you, you're going to go through that. And they circulated her and a whole bunch of other women who died before she did, or died spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or were replaced with walk-ins. When I say walk-in, their real soul, through soul pain, they didn't have a soul retrieval done, was snatched out, rituals done on them when they signed the contract and literally took blood oaths, and their real soul was replaced with a walk-in. Either a person that physically died, their soul is roaming the earth, they want a body, they get in it, or they call down a particular entity that rules it and have that person perform. So you're looking at the person, you're mesmerized by the person, and you think it's the person. It's not. Just like Beyonce says, she calls Sasha Fierce and gets possessed with Sasha Fierce. Nicki Minaj says she get possessed with Roman. Other ones, that's what they're taught inside of there. These people have more power than you would think they have. She didn't raise up to that level, and she could have been born. The entity that was enchanted could have been placed in there and been born as filler, born to die as a sacrifice, because she did not survive and she wasn't strong enough on her own to survive. So they have certain, based on their contract, even based on the color of the pen. Is it a blue pen? Is it a black pen? Is it a green pen? See, it's clear she didn't have a spiritual mom or dad or anybody, Gucci man. Nobody watched out for this baby. She was just filler.
Okay. So the people in the chat are telling me, saying, so and like I said, I was in the Navy. So when Kevin Samuels died, I was on the boat. So, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a joke or whatever, because he had just, got his big break or whatever, and he was everywhere. Everything was talking about it. And lo and behold, he just up and died. So they're saying that I guess you gave a celebrity reading or some commentary about his demise.
I enjoyed him, even though he acted like he hated black women, and it was always something destructive and negative unless they looked a certain way. He didn't just up and die. They said Kevin Samuel was on medication. He had some type of health issue, and he was with a woman that he had just met, and they don't know if it was something that I don't know what she was, a non-black woman, gave him, because that's what he was telling me. And he was telling me about the whole industry. I saw him with a white woman, but this white woman was his handler that opened doors to television and agents and the right managers. He was being poised to move up into a seat of power. None of this happens by accident. All these people not based on only their talent, education. They're based on who they're picked, and are they going to willing to submit to the Illuminati, and are they going to be good slaves? That's basically what he told me. And I actually enjoyed him, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I do understand his view, because when I look at some of those interviews he did with black women and how they call in, what he says, what they say. I have to agree with a lot of what he says.
So that's a great point, right? So here what I do is I don't hate black women. Okay, I love them. I got I'm divorced, but I got a mama, I got a sister, I got a daughter. But as a black man, they're my first choice, right? And that's who I've dealt with mainly. I never dealt with a white woman, dealt with a couple little hot Latinas or whatever here and there. But
yes.
Mainly 90+%, what I'm saying, black women, right? So I think one of the biggest misconceptions is when a black man criticizes the things and the actions that black women are doing and the way they go about handling things, especially from a mating perspective, it's labeled as hate, or it's labeled as bashing and all these different things, or attacking. But like you just said, if what he's saying is true, why is it that black women take it that way versus, I guess, like harsh, honest criticism? What's your take on that?
Because we don't know. It's so sad that most of the time black women and black men don't get along, don't like each other, don't respect each other. I hate to see it. I don't know if I dealt with getting a restraining order on a black woman in November, December.
No.
Who I didn't do
it. Just 2023?
Yeah, and I was very ill. After that, I had to go into the hospital. I almost died, but I fought her first. And this was someone
or spirit, physically.
No, unfortunately I didn't get to do that. But she came to my house because I did not want to associate with her. I didn't want her to pick up any groceries for the physically dead to put on the altar. She was a liar. She was a thief. And she got mad when I found out, and I did a background on her, that she had been in and out of jail for working for doctors' offices and stealing the doctor's prescription pads. This is not a rumor. This is with DeKalb County, Georgia. And this was after I met her. I knew because she told me, but it also showed up in the DeKalb County, her arrest record. When I saw this and the other things that like 10 years ago, just constantly being a thief, I don't want that around me, and that's my fault because I did not check this stuff out before having her as an assistant. She got so enraged by that. She was calling me from work saying, "You're a dead bitch. It's SOS on site, bitch. Smash on site. I'm gonna get off work and I'm gonna clock out and I'm gonna come kill you." She put in the text messages, which I saved for the judge. She called. She was saying on the phone. Actually pulled up November the 7th. Started screaming.
Wow.
Was with my neighbors. I didn't even know she had talked to my neighbors. They were outside laughing, cheering it on. Said she was going to come snatch me on my porch. Actually, I have the videos on my YouTube channel under the videos. You can see where I said she's coming. Shannon threatened to kill me. Shannon threatened to run over me with her car. I make shit like this up, and it's in DeKalb County. I have a restraining order from this past December up to December 24. I have a 12-month restraining order on this bitch. Who basically was standing out in front of my house. I turned my camera on my phone so you could see it. She's like, "I'm finna kill this bitch tonight." She's looking at the neighbors, and they're older than me, laughing and saying, "Yeah, well, take her up the hill and shoot her. Don't shoot her down here because the bullets might hit me." And I didn't do anything to this lady to deserve that. Was giving her money, was giving her food because I, cook on the side. I feed women, children. I feed animals. Didn't even ask for no money and shit in return. And she does this. So, then went and filed a restraining order on me first, told the judge that I had gotten on social media and said I was going to stab her with a knife. Didn't have any screenshots of it. Didn't have any witnesses because I never did it. Had a temporary 30-day restraining order, but the way it works, you have to then go back to get a permanent restraining order, and in that hearing, you must show proof. She said I was sexually harassing her, that I wanted to screw her, that I made her go through PTSD. But Mr. Fantastic, if you go and look at my videos, not the lives, the videos, you will see this lady threatening me, coming to my house, threatening me, telling me to come outside so she can beat my ass. She has no videos of me. I had never been to her home. No text messages, no phone calls. That's how I got a restraining order, because the judge saw that she was lying and couldn't prove anything she said. Everything I said, I could prove, down to the text messages. I mean, really, really disgusting. And I see a lot of Black women doing this. to each other, smiling in each other's face, stabbing them. Just like when Kevin Samuels was like, "You're a little bit too overweight. You look too fluffy, bitch. You know, you attacking me. You know, like, but you probably are, because I've heard a lot of black men say, including my son, he might have dated some big ones, goddamn it. So let me take that back. But I know, but they didn't last. You know, men have their preferences, and black men have the right to have their preferences. And he knows, because he's out there dealing with all levels of educated, uneducated, different ages of black women, and talking to black men. So he knows the high value men, they usually don't play that kind of shit. And that's the one he was specifically trying to tell these black women, if you want to get one of those, which most of them did, I know them, I am one of them, I hear what they say, I know their preferences, I know their likes and dislikes. These black women couldn't take it, but it was clear their parents, when they're growing up, had not groomed them for that and trained them for that, and they chose not to study these men or listen to what these men say without getting upset and then allowing this man to groom you. It might be some men that are interested in them, but it's some things about their lifestyle you just gonna have to conform, or you all gonna have to be able to do an even give and take if you both want to be happy and if you both want to be together. But you want to come into this man's world. You want to be like a celebrity wife. You want him to make a certain amount of income. You want to live that lifestyle. But he's trying to tell you, look, I know for a fact you with this and this age, and this is what they want and this is what they don't want. Then they want to attack him.
Yeah, you don't qualify. Let's say you don't qualify. They didn't qualify for the men they were looking for. So they didn't qualify.
And then if it's possible, they're not willing to do what it takes to qualify to be in that world. But it's just like, I didn't get mad at him when he said, I'm basically disqualified because of my age. So I can't change my age. I can't do nothing about it. But that's not my issue, because I feel like this. If one man don't want me, or a particular group of niggas don't want me, then I know how to get over that and go find another group that wants me, or they outside of my race altogether, before I would have ever gotten on a live just to insult him. I would never do that.
Cool. So let me get to a couple of these donations, everything. Hey man, hit the like button, man. I got 153 people in the building. I don't got 153 likes. I need those likes. Please hit the like button. Shout out to Sir Tyson for becoming a new member. Greatly appreciate your brother. A1 Day One in the building.
You're too down with the gang. You're one of my members.
Shout out to D Champ. New in his joint. Shout out to you, brother.
You're too down with the gang. You're one of my members.
And shout out to 90ish for the 5. Greatly appreciate your brother. Shout out to Miss Fantastic on this fire interview, and shout out to the brother also that said no shout out, so I'll just play it anyway for the 10 on the cash app. So you brought up an interesting point, right? You mentioned the preferences, and as we can see, and everyone that knows you knows. So are you mixed? Are you not mixed? Your mom and dad were black. But you got like white lineage down the line, right?
My mother, because her father's half white and half Native American, so it's just mixtures in there. Okay. You know, people always ask me that. So yeah, I'm a black woman with just basically mixed lineage. I like the way you put that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll make sure, but you're still of a fair skin, and hey, definitely, no one will ever say you were an ugly lady. So can you give it, and I know you can tell the truth about this, because like I said, you know what I'm saying. Can you give us the true experience of a light-skinned woman? Like, I mean, the vitriol and the stuff you receive just from that, off of you being attractive and being fairer skinned.
Well, you know what? When I grew up with my mother, when in the black community was cool, and everything was black this, and James Brown, and say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. So we were never taught things like that. And I love to tan and be out in the sun, and we just love black life. Everything about it we loved. I didn't even know we were poor being in the projects. But then I went with my mother and went to an all white school. So you're a nigger in there. Even if you lighter skin, we still know you're a nigga, okay? And we know you're not a Caucasian person. So you get it there, and then all the white people were not like that, but some of them just are taught to be racist. If you're not of Aryan descent, blonde hair, blue eyes, don't matter how mixed you are, if they can see some nigga in there somewhere and your skin ain't pure goddamn white, eyes blue, you just a lighter skin, but you still a nigga though. So dealing with that on that side, and then dealing with white men who will be like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Can we go out? Can we hook up? Can we get married? So seeing both sides on that side, and then trying to reach out to black women, and I didn't understand it, but I got it when I started out doing the Vagina Power Show. Yeah, well, you don't have to go through this like me because you're light skinned and you got naturally long wavy hair. And I'm just like, but we both black, so what is the problem? Yeah, but not like me, and you don't have to go through this, and you don't have to go through that. And then meeting black men or seeing them say, I only date light skinned black women, and I would not date those kind of guys. I would push away. So it's like you get it from your own people, and then you get it from society and other races. So I just it put me in a position to be used, because I became like so nice and letting people know I'm not stuck up, I don't have an issue, and got fucked over. And then I found out later these bitches always had a problem with me. It didn't matter how nice I was, they still had an issue.
So hold on. So I have this thing. This is my theory. This is my personal theory. I like to call it light skin guilt. Okay, I like to call it light skin guilt because y'all light skinned women, and that's light skinned women are my preference, by the way. So that's why I personally always bring this up, right? And I've seen them do it, and I hate when y'all do this. Light skinned women will pick up the calls for dark skinned women, brown skinned women, dark women, whatever, in general, and they literally single y'all out and leave y'all out in the cold
and will stab you. Yeah.
And what I keep trying to tell, the women my age and younger is like, yo, these women hate you. They do not like you. They see you as a threat. They think that you think, like you said, even if you don't think that way, you think you better than somebody and all this different stuff, and they mad at you because of, just simply something you can't control. So I was like, man, once light-skinned women got to motherfucking like grow some, got to do something, get some motherfucking confidence, because they be bullying y'all.
It's not always true though, because my assistant, she's dark skinned, and she will ride or die and fight for me. And the lady
of course not all, but most.
And I was shocked. Yeah, the lady that I had to get a restraining order on, I was shocked because she's light skinned. I was really shocked that she would do that to me, and then start telling all kind of filthy lies on me. And I tried to tell my son that he didn't listen. I don't know if you saw me rapping with him. See a picture of him. He's light skinned and he's got what they call them cat eyes. And all his friends were very dark. And all his guy friends, dark, nappy hair with the braids and all that. He would try to wear his hair like theirs and it just curl. And he just be ride or die and fight for them. And then they set him up to get jumped and turn on him. I'm telling you, he was little, like 5 and 6, and I felt so bad. And I like, every time I see you with somebody, that's your friend, and you ride or die, and I let them spend the night, and we take them out to eat and stuff. They always real dark with the kinky hair, and you love them, and they always fuck over you. And he couldn't see it. I think he might be getting it now. And those are the ones that would set him up and have him in and out of jail and shit. And he still wouldn't listen to me. But his favorite girl, and a lot of times it's like that. Opposites attract. He liked them chocolate girls. He liked them dark brown girls, them big old them ghetto booties.
Okay.
I can't keep him away from them.
Okay. So now let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. So again, for the people that don't know, everybody asking in the chat, this is who this is. Okay. She's not on cam, but this is her. You know her voice. She got a channel. Check her out. This is who this is, live in the flesh.
Don't let every man hit the bottom of your vagina, the root of your vagina.
But they don't know about the bottom. They don't know about the bottom.
Yeah.
And I knew it. And this one right here, this one right here is low key my favorite. I use that one the most, but this one right here.
So she said the dick was so good that as she started rocking, she just got into it, and all of a sudden she said something just hit her, bam, all upside his head, just slapped him. Dick will make you slap somebody.
And then
Amen.
It's the latest edition. Hey, Miss Alexis, I be asking them, hey, you ever been slapped? A lot of these niggas ain't never been slapped. I got, hey, I gotta have, you know what I'm saying? I gotta wear makeup sometimes, you know?
Don't try to make me take all that dick at one time.
Slow and easy.
He said, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not rush all this dick up in you at one time. I'm going to take it easy on you. She said, okay, I think I can take it. So he laid down. The nigga rushed all that dick up in her.
I used to have so much fun back then.
Well, people are still having fun. I'm literally, I got like, I don't know, like almost 500,000 likes or whatever, or views, not impressions, but just by using that last clip, right?
Thank you.
So again, you are a legend. And like I said, so tell the people, because like you said, so you weren't on the internet per se, but people took your content that you did, because y'all did real sit down studio recordings, right? Real video recordings.
Yeah, I was at Public Access TV. That's Comcast. So it's real cable TV. And a lot of people I was going into millions of homes through Comcast, and the owner didn't like me. And a lot of people that didn't like me when I got there in 2006, and they did what they could to push me out. All the other black producers would not help me. They were against me too, because they had been there like 5 years and wasn't getting the play I was getting from being there in 5 months. So they did what they could to push me out. So at the beginning of 2007, I did a show, but then I had to boycott. I was actually walking up and down the sidewalk in front of People TV to demand to get my spot back, because the white owner that hated me couldn't justify getting rid of me. And what I didn't know, somebody had to tell me. I didn't know anything about internet and YouTube. They were like, do you realize somebody's uploading your shit onto YouTube? And people were going crazy and they were laughing. They were like, oh, this is amazing. And the guy was like, just wait, I got some more content. And I was like, and I had to step to him, because I'm like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but you don't know me, and you're acting like this is your content, and you're uploading this, and you're getting millions of views, and I own the copyrights and trademarks to this shit, so you better ask me or I'll get you shut down. So somebody was like, no, don't do that, because look at what these people are doing. Just set your own YouTube page up. So that's what I did. So I didn't know anything about uploading shit. I'm not a tech savvy person. It was other people that made me viral on the internet.
Well, yeah. Well, you're still going viral to this day, because like you said,
you know what? I want to thank the younger generations of people. Yeah. They keep me popular. They keep getting newer people. New generations are finding out about me. So yeah, they have made me a legend and an internet sensation. That's almost 20 years old.
Yeah, that I didn't realize it was that far back. But like I said, you think about it, like, and that's the video, like actual videotape, VHS tape that somebody took and, like you said, digitally uploaded. That has been a while. So your show, and like I said, this is where we get I guess into the better parts, your other part of your expertise. Talk to us about the importance of sexual energy, sexual compatibility, man and woman being together, all these different things. Let us know, because listen, these niggas got mad at me, right? Because I was like, hey man, a man needs pussy. Okay.
Yes.
And niggas told me, no, you don't need no pussy. You don't need no, you'll do just fine. But I'm like, nigga, I don't know what type of nigga you is, but me, I need that pussy. You feel me? So
why they say you don't need it?
Huh?
Why they say you don't need it?
I don't know. I can't speak for them. I just speak for me. So I don't know a man. I know this. If all the pussies disappeared off the earth today, half of the niggas would be dead tomorrow, and all of them be dead in a week.
And like I said today, pussy made for a dick to go up in. A dick that made niggas made to stick a pussy.
Exactly.
So you have to honor yourself and be true to yourself. If you know that's your sex drive level and you need it, I don't care if it's 5 times a day, you want to get someone that's equally yoked with you, because there are a lot of women, but a lot of us are slut shamed and hoe shamed. You want to find a woman that has that same level of sex drive, so that you are with no apology, no guilt, so that you can honor each other's energy. You have to love your dick, embrace your sperm and your seminal fluid. Be very proud of that. Be very secure in that, and honor it, and make sure you only have women around you that's honoring that when, how, and where you need it. Like Janet Jackson said, anytime and any place, if that's what's called for. No other man can speak for you or tell you what you should or shouldn't do, or what you should or shouldn't like, or how many times. Everybody needs to embrace their pussy and they dick, and throw that dick and throw that pee like Two Lies said.
Damn right. So 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 this is and I heard you say this the other day too, right? So and I tell dudes this, and that's why I listened to your stuff earlier on. I was real young, I had no idea. But me personally, just like, you know what I'm saying, I understand, like you said, the most important part of, like, you know, when you have sex with a woman is making sure that she's sexually satisfied. And like you said, that bottom, like, that's just different. And what you come to find is a lot of women have never actually been sexually satisfied. Dudes just trying to, you know, jam and ram, as you say, right? Dudes just think that just like you just jackhammer and, you know, punish the pussy, but not actually giving any pleasure in the aspect of it, right? But once you get that, you know what I'm saying, sex is a science. So once you understand that, and then, like, you know what I'm saying, you get it down with one woman, and then the next, once you learn what you're doing, like, your life is just so much easier and better with women just in general.
I totally agree when I say the bottom. I'm talking about the cervix, the back of the
exactly.
vagina.
So tell them that again, because I don't think a lot of them don't, like, say, hey, now I know you and your mama might not have been on good terms, but hey, they don't know about the bottom. They don't know about the bottom. So let them know what the bottom is.
You know, unfortunately, many of us as women don't know about our anatomy. We weren't taught, like I was never taught, and they don't know about the cervix, because you don't want a man with a big dick that's too long and too wide to slam up in you, because they can damage the cervix. And there are a lot of women that have had abortions or have people been so rough with them, when they get pregnant, they have to have the cervix sewn shut because it could cause them to miscarry. It could open up spontaneously. They really don't have any control over it due to the injuries from. And then I've actually had women tell me they removed the cervix, or actually had a full hysterectomy, because they had a man who hated hitting something in the back, and they just wanted them to have a hole. But that all, to me, is sacred architecture, and they all serve a purpose, not just for sexual pleasure for a man and a woman, but also reproduction and the hormones being released from the brain, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, those what feed the sex organs, and they control your moods, a lot of your feelings in the body, and the health and stability of the mind and the body, and the hormones that feed the male and the female organs. So it's, to me, some women are like us. Some women are just sex addicts, and you can just please them. You got some good dick and you have very good skill. But women like me are very spiritual first. So it doesn't matter how fine the guy is, how big the dick is, and how you know how to use it. At first, for us, he has to have intercourse with us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. There has to be a meeting of the mind and the bonding, because many of us are not just looking for good sex. We want our own mate.
Okay, got you. So are women telling the truth when they say, just from the physical aspect though, that good sex is rare though? Are they capping, or are they rapping?
No, unfortunately, it's not, because like you said, you got a lot of men that are trying to please women by listening to men that are players, that go from woman to woman, that have never had a mental, emotional, and spiritual sexual relationship. So like you said, they teaching them to slam all up in them because you got a big dick. That don't mean you know how to use it. And it's not a one size fits all. So because you please the other woman that's chasing you, even though you told her to leave you alone, you won't give her no more dick. You're not going to please every woman with that, because a lot of us don't like that. Them big oversized horse dicks, I don't like them. And I stay away from them. And as a little girl, my grandmother told me, don't let men tear your insides up. And a lot of them are into their ego. They're not really into communicating with and talking to the woman's body, the essence of the body, and learning her vagina.
Whoa, now. You got too much dip on your chip.
Now, Miss Alexis, I know you a woman talk about dicks, but a lot of this stuff is just a little. that's a little wild. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something I do. They did. So I had to pause that. Not for you, but for
I'm
me.
sorry.
It's okay for you to say it. I just they getting on me in the chat. They gonna act like because I heard it and I ain't make no comment. So no, but keep going. So again,
What they say I'm wrong about what I
said? You wrong is just me because you talking about big horse dicks. Pause. I gotta. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, right? So the woman aspect of it, right? You talked about the men. Now let's talk about the woman. Men have a lot of issues. So what's your take on it as to why women, especially nowadays? So let's go from where you were. You were growing up, a young lady, to what's the difference between when you were younger and now, as far as like the sexual appetite, the sexual climate, the view of sex on society? Because like you said, you really are just even to hear anybody, but especially a woman talking about sex to the level you talked about it, not just the physical, like you said, the spiritual, metaphysical, and the one of the things you were so masterful at is you talked about men and women. Where do you feel like we are today versus where we were like when you started 20 years ago?
You know what? It was bad 20 years ago, but when I was growing up, it was more of a controlled environment and community. You're going to go to school, you're going to get your education, you're not going to have sex before marriage, and I will beat the baby out of you. It was a lot of fear and a lot of control with religion. And a lot of times some women were having sex as young girls, but they would send them away and they would have the baby somewhere else, or someone within the family would adopt it and you think it's your little cousin or your little sister, and they would hide and protect these things. It wasn't as rampant as it is now. It breaks my heart because I love to see women and men doing good fucking, but not just that, loving each other, having relationships and being honest about their sexual activity. When I started out in 2006, I had gay men who would secretly tell me these things. And they said, I can't be a guest because if they see my face, I get in trouble. But a lot of black women during that period, it was an explosion of HIV and AIDS in Atlanta. And these women were confused because they were following all these church concepts and getting married and loving God and Jesus and all that. But they were going to the hospital married to a man and not knowing why they were coming up HIV positive because they didn't know about the down low epidemic. And it was this one man who wrote a book. He was on Oprah. His book exploded, this black guy. And he was talking about a lot of those men that were married were his lovers. And then we have a lot of married men that are closeted. They're buddies and you think they cool because they marry and they screwing each other. So that's why I felt the need to talk like I talked, because it was stuff I didn't even know. It's heartbreaking to see black women and black men fight each other and hate each other. And then a lot of these women ain't no good. In Atlanta, we know that they have a lot of the sex clubs here. A lot of women are just as promiscuous and passing HIV and other diseases as black men. So and a lot of them are on the down low. I cannot blame black men for all of this promiscuity in the divisions and basically a lack of family structure. And then we have music that perpetuates that, the low IQ, the low level of education, and the low level of sexual intercourse.
So I'm glad and I was going to go there, the music aspect of it. So especially now, because like I never even heard a woman talk about eating a man's ass like in life until like the last
Sukihana and the other one.
Yeah, Sexy Red, exactly, right? Sexy Red and Sukihana, like actually promoting. And like you said, this was my thing, and this is what I said. So this is a theory, but pretty much like we all knew what was going on in Atlanta. Even before I left home, they was talking about the dudes that would go up there, the nigga be buff in the gym, and then he'll be in the skirt at night, right? So Atlanta always been on some Atlanta shit. But like you said, and I told her, and I was like, bro, the reason why these women are out here talking about all this gay ass shit that dudes be doing is because they fucking with gay dudes and them prison niggas. So between the prison niggas and the gay niggas, I'm like, now you got women that are capitulating to the shit that they like. So they're out here actually promoting it like that shit cool. And now I see all these young niggas like, yeah, man, and I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? Like, bro, you ain't supposed to be no grown ass man with your legs in the air, no motherfucking Lamborghini door legs. What's wrong with you? So this whole thing as to where it's okay to be gay, it's just weird to me. I can't get with it. I don't understand.
I don't know if you saw this, but there was a black scientist and they did what they could to hush him up. He had done research, and there are some of the chemicals, maybe even some of the pesticides. Some of those chemicals, they had experimented with frogs, and the frogs was drinking the water and swimming in the water and became homosexual.
The fluoride and the other stuff in the water, like you said, was another thing.
Oh, it wasn't fluoride. It's another chemical. You can look it up. I forgot the name of it. It's deeper than fluoride. The fluoride don't turn you gay, but it really don't help your teeth and fuck them up. But there's another chemical that makes...
Atrazine, that's what it was. Atrazine.
Yes, and it is true. And at one point in the Army, they were talking about releasing a gay bomb, because when you go to old Rome, most of those strong, buff Roman soldiers that will be out for long periods of time fighting, they would be screwing each other. And they said there was more camaraderie and more loyalty if you got a soldier beside you that you lay up with. And we know Bill Clinton came up with the don't ask, don't tell policy. Some of the gay men that I dealt with, they were either in the military, they were screwing high-ranking officers, and some of their wives allowed it. Some of the wives said, I'd rather him mess with a man than mess with another woman. I ain't got to worry about him going nowhere. And they had, they claim if you have HIV or something, you can't be in the military, but they actually allow certain people to. There are HIV positive military people. So this has always gone on, and we have a music industry. Remember that. You're not going to get a major deal with Sukihana and them and Sexy Red talking about busting a nigga ass up like a bitch, unless the music industry pays and says, I want you to perpetuate that, because when Nas used to do positive music back in the day, they took him off the air. They don't want to hear that these companies, these wealthy people that control these companies, are pushing that in a black neighborhood and also owning stock in prisons to perpetuating the drug lifestyle. And you see a lot of those rappers, male and female, get tired of it. They end up drug addicts, they end up dead, they end up in and out of jail and getting long prison sentences, because now we know a lot of them are, and they bring the gangs in it. Most of those males and females are gang members, because those are ones that run, and they're the lower level enforcers. For the producers are as well, and for the higher ups in the record label. They know that, and they allow this to go on. And we know they don't get a lot of money the most of the time, but they get the fame, and they don't own all of their masters. So they usually go into a drug lifestyle or sex party or prostitution lifestyle, which helps to perpetuate drug use, HIV, other STDs, and the homosexual lifestyle. Because most of these people that are drug in these sex parties, they end up having sex with men or fall in love with transgenders. They're drugged. They're not in their right mind, and they're filmed. And then they're told what you're going to do, what you're not going to do.
So yeah, so I didn't even think about those. So the T people, right? We like call them the Decepticons. Especially like say with you being in Atlanta, how has that changed from you know what I'm saying, early 2000s to now, and why do you feel like they're being put in the forefront so much, when again they make up less than 0.0 something% of the population, but every time you turn around now it's trans this, trans that, trans this, trans that. What part do they play in the entertainment industry and, you know, rap and all this different stuff, and, you know, what part do they play?
They run it, and you have to understand all these industries dealing with cooking, fashion design, music, hairdressing, cosmetics are controlled by gay people, gay men, and the higher ups that control politics, influence, and that run these major companies and run major music industries are gay. They're boy lovers, and they have wives that are their beards, so they have a separate understanding. I want children to keep these people bound and enslaved, but I also enjoy they're closet pedophiles, because if they were not, Diddy and all these other people couldn't get away with what they get away with. And then you have to realize sex, money, rock and roll, music, rappers, and the prison industrial complex, honey, those all tie into each other. And then you got gay people who work their way that were already secretly there, because you see a lot of Republican men have gotten busted for messing with boys and children or their pages, or someone that's inside of their working for them, they get sexually harassed. So you have those, and they've gotten in a position to be policymakers, or they have the ear of a powerful policymaker, and so they're bringing the whole rainbow agenda in. And if you have a problem with that, you work at a particular job, have a certain career, you can have your whole life destroyed by speaking against that. They work in the hospitals, or they have lobbyists that control the policy in different states, and the laws and the laws of the doctor. They say, hey, she's 8 years old, and I want you to give her the endocrine mimickers to make her turn into a boy, or it's mostly the boys want to become girls. So I want you to give this to him at 10 or 11 years old before he starts going through puberty, and give them puberty blockers, so that they don't even go through that, so they won't ever look like a hard leg ass man. This will look like a softer woman. It's basically a Luciferian agenda to take what God loves and turn it upside down. Everything right is wrong. Everything wrong is right. These people have strategically worked for years to get themselves in the position of a policymaker, or sleep with and get the ear. You'd be surprised a lot of these powerful men that you're looking at on TV sleep with men. I like to sleep with boys. That's how. And that's why it's not a coincidence. It's not a fluke. You have policymakers that control the world, and that control music, and that influence everything you hear, that are also stockholders in the prison industrial complex that's going to lead them black boys and black girls ain't got two places to go: jail or hell, or selling pussy and dick and being burnt out in war. I will see what Sexy Red and Sukihana is in 5 and 10 years, because those are just industry pawns, industry plants that are they target the youth, so they can lure them in, possess them demonically, and poison them in the same way, and burn them out. I mean, you look at Sukihana now, she's so self-hating, she done chopped up all her face and body. Why? Because they go to the same surgeons, they have the same image, and they're told, we're going to make you, we're going to do this and that, but you're going to change this, you're going to cut off that, and this is all we want you to talk about, your ass and putting your mouth in a nigga's rectum. See, and which leads to more disease.
Yeah.
And dysfunction, and no marriage, and having children out of wedlock. And these women are proud of it. They tell you it's okay to do that. You have no men protecting the community, protecting the children. You don't have wise women with honor and integrity raising up the youth and protecting what they hear, what they see, what they're taught. Instead, they ain't telling them to go to college. They ain't telling them to get into technology and science fields. They're telling them to eat a nigga butt and go get a booty job. I mean, it's disgusting to me.
Okay, so that's another great point that you brought up. So, what was I about to say? Damn, what was it? What did you just say? Oh yeah. So, are you familiar with Ebony K. Williams?
No.
The lady that said she wouldn't deal with the bus driver. You remember that?
Yeah, but I didn't follow her to listen to a lot of her philosophy, but from a little bit I heard her say, and the way she explained it, I understood.
Cool. So recently she went on a campaign, and she was promoting, and she's actually pregnant now through in vitro.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, she's telling black women, and mind you, she'd never even been in relationships with black men. She always dealt with white men. She was telling black women that relationships with black men don't serve you. So what you should do is go to a sperm bank, get black sperm, and just have a baby that way. Purposely.
Wow. I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that. And so why is she saying get pregnant with a black man's child when she never had a relationship or sexual intercourse with one?
Because so like you said, I think she's a plant in the thing for this division that we're talking about here. Like you said, all this stuff is contrived. The gender war, quote unquote, but especially between black men and black women, you have all the powers that be that are trying to keep us divided for whatever reason, right? You know, women telling you, hey, you know, they don't want to go to Red Lobster, they don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory, none of this stuff. The man got to make $250,000, and if he not, he broke. They don't want no 9-to-5 nigga. They want the drug dealer. They want the they don't want a 9-to-5 nigga. They'll choose the drug dealer over the doctor. Just all these things that constantly get put out here. So
I see. I'm glad you can't accuse me of that or play no clip. I said that shit because I ain't never been about that. Yes, I like men that are providers and are the head of their household and protectors of the woman and the child. But I never taught that you only date someone that has a certain amount of money, because I've seen some men and women that just love each other, and they might have started out with nothing and they went to school and built whole empires. That is possible. I'm just not on that gold digger shit. I've never been on it. But I do believe it should be a man that's a good provider. And it just depends on the relationship. Like, I know some women that they men don't go out and work a 9 to 5. He's a house dad. He clean up, take care of the children, feed them. And the woman goes out to work, and that's their understanding. That's their agreement. And they're very, very happy together. Every man doesn't have the same role, and he can still be respected as a man and be a provider and a protector of the wife and the children, because he protects the home. And so it just varies on what that relationship could look like, but get the same result. I believe in community. All of the people that a lot of Black people patronize them, like going to Asian beauty spot, Asian buffets and shit. Them people are about community. Family, they will bring their peoples over. Ethiopians do it, Eritrean do it, Asian do it. Even other African groups will do this here.
Too, yeah.
Get over here. Oh, it was static. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Africans. I said Africans and Arabs too. They, like you said, Africans and Arabs do the same thing. Everybody does it pretty much, but us, and we already here.
I can't hear you, baby. You got static too. I'll wait.
You can't hear me?
It's just staticky when you talking. I can't understand what you're saying.
Let me see. Let me get a check from the thing. Am I good to y'all in the chat? Is my audio messed up? Hold on,
I can't understand what you're saying. It's just static. I can't understand when you talk. It's just a whole bunch of static. Hello?
Yeah, so hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you're back. You're back.
Okay, yeah, it was good on my end, I guess. Yeah, it was I guess it was on your side, but either way. But yeah, I was saying Africans and Arabs do it too. I was just agreeing with you and just adding Arabs and other groups and stuff to the thing. And
I love it. And we not taught to do that. You taught to hate on each other, destroy each other. And it's like you go into those restaurants and those beauty supplies, what a lot of Black folks don't know, they probably got a room where they goddamn it live in there. You go back in the motherfucking the back car, they got a whole apartment built up in there, stove, bathtub to wash their ass and shit. And then they help whoever came over here. It's like, we gonna get us a house. We're going to get it big enough for y'all to come over here and stay. We have a basement. We have an attic. And then we're going to get y'all a step. You're going to build a store. Then we're going to get you a car and you a house. And we're going to bring somebody else over here. And we're going to send them to school over here. And we're going to, and then they usually do not. They do not. Somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, because I ain't seen it in Atlanta. They will take your money. They will cook you that egg foo young and shit. And that rice, but they will not live in your community, and they will not live next door to you. They'll live around white folks, and they will live around their own motherfucking folks. They get your money and build up on where they see the weakness in your area, where y'all won't support each other, and duplicate your shit, duplicate your straightening comb, duplicate your clothes, duplicate your motherfucking wig, create a mess they're creating goddamn it knockoffs. Tell your shit back to you that's inferior. Take your shit, build empires, and because they're all about their culture and community, which is the children and marriages. And all the marriages ain't always based on love. They're based on building the future of their tribe and their community with the children and financial stability and expanding the culture. That's one thing I like about them that Black folks over here don't do to each other.
Exactly. So let me read these and then we gonna take off there, because I heard you. I listened to, I think what you told me to listen to, and the misconceptions that we have, like you said, about marriage. So let me go through these real quick and then we'll hop into that. Shout out to Detroit 313 for the 5. I'm gonna go through these, y'all, so we can don't waste time every time we go to. I gotta look her up. Yeah, man, look her up, man. Shout out to Jim Rat 08 for the 10. Appreciate your brother. Oh snap, the get to the bottom woman. Yeah, in the flesh. Shout out to Chocolate Bunny for the 2. What you looking at, love? What you looking at? What you looking for? Be careful now. Be careful in that chat now. Shout out to Detroit 5. She must be listening to 2 Live Crew. But shout out to Uncle Luke, Doodoo Brown. Shout out to Smooth for the 5. Where the Master Roshi suit at? Shout out to Alexis who coined the term double dick clutching slut. We gotta go over that one. I don't remember that one. I don't remember.
And suck a dick up till you hiccup.
Whoa. Okay, let's shout out to Sir Anthony for the 5. I greatly appreciate you. Shut up to Creed, man. Creed, the lovely lady with the money. We gotta play this one, man. And we gonna play the what's name at the end. You know what I'm saying? Always coming through, putting the club soda on it.
That's $25,000 alpaca. You block that shit. Right. You don't rubble. Put the club soda on there.
Shout out to Creed for the 50. Shout out to Miss Alexis. I have enjoyed your content over the years. Shout out to man Brandon Green for the 2. So true. And shout out for another 2. Very true. Appreciate y'all. And here we go. For sure. Now, I was listening to what you was talking about the other day on one of your live streams, and like you said, Black people really are, you know what I'm saying, looking at marrying for love and all these different things versus like the future, and understanding that, you know what I'm saying, hey, we're married for the family, we're married to build an empire, and even if things don't work out later on in the end, cool, fine. You know, we'll find a way to make it work, even if we're 2 doing our own separate things or whatnot. But the most important is establishing the foundation and understanding when you get married, love isn't the first thing that should be coming in play.
I think you should love each other, but sometimes, like when you deal with arranged marriages, when you deal with other communities, even African communities, a lot of times the marriages are arranged. It's for the uplifting of the community and the family, extending the bloodline, but just like what you see the royals do, what Europeans do. And when the European royal family in England, where did they get that from? They got that from Black people, because the original blue bloods were Black. You can Google it if you think I'm lying. The original British coat of arms is niggas up there. You'll see the goddamn silhouette and shit and the side profile of some niggas with some lips and a fucking afro on the outline, and they whitewashed it out the same way they did in Egypt. So a lot of African nations ruled that way, and they would negotiate how many horses you want, how many cows you want, what the amount of the dowry is. And sometimes a whole community or families will be involved in putting the money forward for that and actually sending them to the U.S. to do that. So I'm not saying you shouldn't love each other, but unfortunately, we ain't been taught shit. A lot of us is ignorant. All you know is you love this nigga and he fine and his dick is big, goddamn it. And he got this job, he got this money, gonna get you this house. But really, what does him getting you a house and take care of your kids meaning if you're not sitting down with this man and you're working on forming other alliances with other groups of family or other family members where you can build generational wealth? We're not taught to do that. You can have love and do that, but many times, like you were saying that you heard me say, you marry because of the way you feel as a woman, and many times you're unequally yoked with the man, or you're looking at what he got and what you can get off of it and how it builds your ego to brag to say you got this and you got this kind of nigga and you got that. And then when the marriage dissolves, what other contracts, what other agreements do you have in place that will continue to build generational wealth? Usually they're not established. And we're not focused on that. Like I said, everybody else that we buy from in our community, that is their main goal. Generational wealth. Building the empire. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So explain to us the graduation from, I guess, Lil Pam to like Mrs. Pamela. Can you educate people about Pam to Pamela?
Oh, you so messy. Mr. Fantastic, you so fancy.
You have a lot of wisdom. A lot of these people don't know. And this is my gift to the upcoming generations that may not know. Like I said, a lot
You know what?
Years.
I haven't found it, Mr. Fantastic. It's in that video. You'll probably find it because people have chopped it up and made it viral. They done chopped and screwed it. It's called Wake Up, Bitch. Your baby daddy ain't shit. I think I did that, 2008, 2009, something like that. And I think I had a red dress on. That's where it is. When I said, you just Pam. Pam stands for pussy, ass, and mouth. Pam. So if you look Pam, that means you grew up and either you was fucked as a little girl by your mama's fucking daddy or your motherfucking one of the boyfriends, one of the grown ass niggas in there. So you are a master at fucking and sucking. And basically, black women will tell you they don't know no fucking better. You know, all you gotta do is fuck him, girl, and suck his dick and give him some of that good pussy and open and close that pussy on him, and you got him. And that does not keep, man, that make you Lil Pam, where you really good at using that pussy, that asshole, and that motherfucking mouth. You a master at that, but you look Pam because you on the slow bus, you catch the slow yellow bus, because in your mentality, all you got to do is be a sex goddess. All you got to do is be a freak. But when a nigga, you got his undivided attention when he fucking you in that dick hole and that nigga trying to bust a nut. Soon as he done bust them nuts, he want to bust, you don't have his undivided attention no more. And if you don't strike up the conversation and set up boundaries because you a wounded little girl in the grown woman body just as a master of fucking and sucking a dick like you goddamn Dracula in this motherfucker trying to suck the blood out the motherfucker. If that's all you doing, he's going to get up and go to someone else that he married or that he's in a serious relationship. See, that's Miss Pamela. And then when he's married, don't put the wedding band, that's Mrs. So you want to be MRS period, PAM.
Now, as you were saying, so a lot of people don't understand, like you said, sex is energy. And even you expressed it to like, even if a man is wearing a condom, that man, you know, ejaculating into that woman is a huge transfer of energy. Can you explain to, and you know, and even more so, just a man, you know, the spirit or the, like, you know, saying the essence of life coming from the man to that woman. What role does the sperm and the seminal fluid play in, I guess, like the connection between the man and the woman?
Oh, wow. I mean, the sperm already know what it's supposed to do. Go through that pussy, go through the stairway to heaven, which is the door of the cervix, and have a conversation, a meeting in the ladies' room and fertilize the egg. It knows. It has a divine intelligence, a God consciousness. You don't have to tell them where to go. Just, man, let me loosen this pussy and I'm going to take the rest of them on. I already understand what my role is. And it's cut off because we're taught to take a morning after pill, take an abortion pill, use a condom. And I understand if it's somebody you just met and you just want to get to it and you don't know them, if they got nothing or not. You do what you got to do, use your condom. But this is a sacred entity. Every ancestor that ever lived physically that had sperm and a spirit and a soul mind through it are moving through the man that is ejaculating in this woman. And there was a date, a place, and a time, even people don't want to believe that I do, where you all are destined to meet because there's a certain entity, a certain individual that you must give a physical body to that comes in this realm for a purpose. And you also have to think, yes, sperm is coming, we're catching it with the rubber, but you are sweating on this man. He is sweating on you. Y'all deep throating each other. Y'all tonguing. You might have ate some puss or sucked some dick before you put the condom on. So y'all laying there on top of the person, or they on top of you. You switching movements. All your sweat, all your energy, your pores are open. Your saliva is being released. This is still penetrating your body like it's penetrating theirs. We know you can take a small amount of tissue from a human, or even maybe they sweat or something, and then clone. So it doesn't take that much. It doesn't take the whole body. So if the scientists can do that and transfer, what makes you think that you are not also transferring energy to energy, mind to mind, soul to soul? It's just you won't take that handcuff off that sperm and let him do what he came here to do. You're creating impediments for it, and they are very intelligent. They already know their role, but you're still absorbing it. That's why you see women that are in love with men that got them turned out sexually, and the man pays them no attention. But now the woman's mind, body, and soul is off balance. She can't eat, sleep every day without thinking about this man, and becomes obsessed with a man who don't want her. He love your pussy, but he dislike you. See, that's what a lot of these women don't understand. A nigga could fuck you and love Pam. Love that pussy, that ass, that mouth. But as an individual, bitch, he don't fucking like you. And as long as you doing that shit and you don't want to know and understand that goddamn shit, you're going to be out your mind, totally unstable and unbalanced and in dysfunctional relationships, because first it's showing you in a dysfunctional relationship with yourself. You don't know your intuition. You're not grounding yourself, mind, body, and spirit. You're not opening up your chakras. You're not healing your wounded little girl to thy own self be true, because your gut will never lie to you. These women's getting dick in the gut and dick in their butt, and don't even know this nigga dislike you, and he only like Lil Pam, goddammit. And that's all you will, and that's all you gonna damn be.
She said the dick was so good that as she started rocking, she just got into it, and all of a sudden she said something just hit her, bam, all upside his head, just slapped him. Dick will make you slap somebody.
I know women that have been violent towards men and slapped them because the dick was good, but then outside the bed they couldn't control the nigga. He's somewhere else.
Exactly. So again, so in your opinion, right? And I forget, but I remember you broke it down, right? Vagina power, penis power are separate. Is it a 50-50 share of power? Is the penis more powerful than the penis? I mean, excuse me, is the pussy more powerful than the penis? Is the penis more powerful than the pussy? Or is it case by case?
They're not different. They're the same because they are spiritual sexuality and they were divinely created to fit each other. There's a fit for everybody. Or you might have several twin flames or several soulmates. Divine masculine and a divine feminine need to meet instead of divine karmics that wreck your world. A man got you turned out and he fucks you over. A woman got a man turned out and fucked him over. So it depends on where y'all meet at, what the spiritual significance is of the sexual relationship that you have, like I just said. To thine own self be true. When you are so in touch with your intuition and you healing your wounds, your childhood issues and abuse, and you're coming in touch with your divine intuition, nobody can trick you. Nobody can run game on you unless your lust leads you away, or you just gotta have a person so bad that you get caught up in some bullshit. Nobody can have a relationship with you that is good sexually, and then you get out of the bed, it ends up being destructive to you because the nigga don't like you as a person, or the bitch don't like you. She turning you out to get what the fuck she can get, or trick you and get a certain lifestyle, or get a baby by you and shit. You know, you have to know who you are and what you are, and what you decide you're going to impose on this world, and what you want to attract in a relationship. You need to do the choosing. If you keep letting motherfuckers choose you and you get fucked over, maybe you need to get in touch with yourself and fix yourself, because it's not everybody that keep fucking over you, because you won't keep on letting them in when they knock on the motherfucking door, because you are all about first self-preservation and survival.
So what's the difference between the transfer? You said Pam, right? So pussy, ass, mouth, right? So what's the difference, or is there a difference in a transfer when a man, releases in the vagina, he releases in her mouth, or he releases in her, her anus?
Well, we know that's where life is, in the vagina. Mm-hmm. So we already know. I mean, if the sperm does what it's supposed to do and it gets past the threshold of that cervix, and it fertilizes, and she's very fertile at that point, she's ovulating, she's going to get pregnant if that's what she wants to do. So we already know life is there. So she could end up with a pregnancy that she's either going to keep or she's going to terminate if he is fucking her on her pussy without no protection.
Yeah.
But even after that, you're still transferring spirits. And you're going to erect them, because some people enjoy anal just as much as vaginal, or enjoy anal more. That's basically, you still need to be careful, especially if you're not using the condom back there, because that's where waste is. So yes, you got a lot of nerves there and it's very pleasurable. You're still opening yourself to a lot of bacterial and fungal infections. And let's say if somebody has a virus there and HIV, you're more susceptible to that if you're not using protection unless you know your mate and y'all are just with each other and you already know both of y'all are clean because you get tested. But it is still a spiritual transfer, and many people carry demonic entities, especially if they only want to run up in your butt.
So yeah, so ladies, again, a nigga that's always for the butt. All right, you need to be checking him with your gut. Ain't that?
Thank you, because he only want to bust a nut in your butt. You see what I'm saying? It's very deep. It's a demonic transfer. Most if that's what he craves, and some women try to compete with gay men, and it's a lot of women that now have bowel problems and wear Pampers because they think they're gonna beat a man by having sex and with him in their rectum, and the energy is different. You cannot compete. A woman can't compete with no man pleasing no man. That is a totally different type of energy and a totally different entity that where a man has sex with a man. You're not going to be able to get that out of his psyche. So you need to either accept it and let him be bisexual, or you need to leave him alone, which is going to cause you a lot of problems.
Yeah, definitely. Just leave him alone, because otherwise this you right here.
Are you gay?
How you gonna ask me a question like that?
How do you marry a woman and then turn around and let a man bend you over?
Ain't nobody bending me over.
Oh, so you doing the bending?
You doing the bending. Y'all out here. So Miss Alexis, I told them, and especially like Atlanta is one of the things. What do you think about these women that are knowingly dealing with these, these gay dudes? To us, to you may acknowledge or whatever. To a man, there's no such thing as a bisexual man. You either straight or you're gay. Okay. You either I like to call it you either full-time pussy or part-time pussy. And if you're part-time pussy, you're gay. All right. You ain't no coming back either. So what's your take on these women that knowingly deal with these dudes that are having sex with dudes?
But see, you gotta understand there are different categories of them. There are a lot of women that are real freaky, and they told me that they enjoy watching a man getting pulverized and hit bottom by another goddamn nigga. Some women like to dress a gay man up in dresses and do his hair and his makeup. You got a lot of bitches out here that got fetishes like that, and there's nothing nobody can do to change how they feel. They get off having pricks.
Hold on, just real quick. So you're saying you've had women tell you specifically they enjoy having sex with men that have sex with men, basically gay men.
Yes, and I forgot this man's name, but years ago when I came out, it's a tall, kind of dark skin. I think he was into porn and gay porn, and he said women would pay him to have sex with a man and bust his rectum open and enjoyed watching him have sex with a man. Yeah, it's some women that are just wired freaky like that. It's a lot of black women that are so scared of black men, they want to be men. So they're actually getting sex changes and they're taking testosterone to look and act like men. Actually hate black men. There are women, I've seen them because I used to go to the gay club a lot when I was younger, and I used to hang out at the gay club with bullet-itis and sissies. And there was this guy, he looked exactly like Prince, and he was married to a biological woman, and she would watch him prance around up on the stage and twist around. He had his hair like Prince, the same length and blow out and curl and every motherfucking thing. And then he get out there, she fixing, I saw this myself, touch his makeup up, have his little skirt and shit on with the little bells and shit, so he move it ding ding, like a bitch. I don't feel sorry for all black women, because you have to understand a lot of them, that's what they like. And then too, where there's a shortage of black men that are gay, or bisexual, or if they straight, they like to fuck everybody and go to the sex club. They feel like shit is more, so many women out here to men, maybe 20 women to one man. I'm finna fuck all these hoes. So they doing all of that, and then some black women still be like, no matter what, I still love black men and I still want me a black man. So they are long suffering in Atlanta for some shit that ain't gonna never fucking come, because they don't want to date a white man. They don't want to date outside their race, but these niggas they wait for, they gonna die waiting for them. or they conform to what you just said.
Damn.
They have a lot of money. They don't went to school. They have a lot of education. And unfortunately, I think they just say, I'm missing my king. I don't have a king. Either these good men are already married and probably being dogged out and afraid to get out of relationships because it's cheaper to keep her, or they've been so hurt they celibate too. Because I've met men that are celibate and withdrawing, beautiful, fine ass men that don't want to do that. And you don't really see them. You don't run into them. They don't go out. They don't hang out. And then the other one.
So I'm gonna ask you about that, right? So that is becoming a trend. I don't know if you're aware. They've done studies, right? And even the younger men now, they say a lot of these young men aren't even having sex anymore, right? And you just gave credence to, you say you met some dudes that you would say were attractive, you know what I'm saying, to you, you know what I'm saying? I guess in a man you find attractive, you think most women will find attractive also, right? So what do you feel like how do we get to this point to where men just don't want to even try to attempt to, you know what I mean, even deal with a woman for sex? You
have to know their background. You have to know their background and what they've been through as kids and what they've been through in their sexual relationships as adults. Because the ones that I've talked to, they were very pure and very giving, good men, and they attracted a karmic female. Someone that has karma to teach them a lesson to be cruel to them, instead of a divine feminine that loved them and built them up and fucked over them and cheated on them and shit. And some men can't really take it like a lot of us women. Like I might have been fucked over 10 times and still get my ass up and go back in and put a knife for 10 times. Some men get hurt 1 or 2 times and it's like they locking that shit down. It's a fucking wrap, because mentally and emotionally they can't really deal with that shit, and they holding it, and they holding the pain and the resentment. I dare this bitch do this when I gave my whole heart. I don't care about the bitches I fucked before. I'm talking about this when I gave my whole heart to and married and put in a home, and a lot of men.
So let me interject here. So can you explain that? Because I know for a fact, I know for a fact, women do. Why can't women, so it's a two-part question. Why can't women understand the sacrifice that a man is making when a man decides to not only just love a woman, but fall in love with a woman? Why don't they? Why? But is it because? Well, I'll let you answer. I don't want to give any filler.
No, what do you mean? A woman that hurts him, or a woman that stays with?
No, just in general, like women think that a man will break up with you tomorrow and be fucking the next bitch. Break up with you today and be fucking the next bitch tomorrow. They don't understand that even if he fucking the next bitch tomorrow, that's just a coping mechanism. He don't love this bitch. He don't want her, so on and so forth. He hurt, but the way for him to try and get it out of his mind and get it past the hurt is just to have sex with the first and closest thing he can have sex with. But for a man to actually say, "Hey, I'm gonna," especially we talking about the real relationship, marriage, stuff like that. I'm gonna pull myself out of this pool where I can have plenty of women, especially say you're an attractive guy or whatever, right? I can have any woman I want, multiple women, and then I'm going to dedicate myself to one woman. And then, unfortunately, like you said, not just things not work out, but a woman like does him dirty. Why can't women figure out why men are a whole lot harder on that than women, I guess?
Because we're not taught. It's like there's a love language for women and there's a love language for men. We don't get that growing up, and we should get that growing up. And once we get grown, we don't understand. We just out there in the throes of the shit. It's the language. The love language is different. Like you said, the coping mechanism is different, and men keep their player secrets. I think that's absolutely what you said is a good thing for me to go into, that we need to learn that men are teaching. But then I had men wanted me off the air because I started trying to get into those things. She up there telling our secrets, goddamn it. Who is telling this bitch this shit? She up there gonna ruin it for all of us, so we can't keep gaming on these bitches. But it's like even the hormonal release is different when a man has sex with a woman, and the oxytocin, and the woman's feeling happy and that she's in love. We are not even taught on a scientific level how sex affects the body and how it affects the difference in the way the man sees something and the way a woman sees something. But if a bitch is no good and she's out to do that, to a good man, it doesn't matter what he knows or what she knows. If he puts himself in that position, instead of him just charging to the game and start to educate himself and realize his role in it, then he just chooses to attack her and go fuck women as a coping mechanism. He's probably going to spend his life, yeah, he might not get hurt again, but he's actually going to live in fear and be miserable because he will only have surface sexual relationships instead of dealing with the real reason that he attracted that type of karmic female into his world. So it's basically a lack of education and how our body functions. We haven't had the right people to teach us.
Okay. And like you said, that self-actualization and that work to where you have to look inside yourself and see, like you said, take responsibility for whatever part you may have played. Even if you didn't do anything wrong.
Right. You just might have opened the door.
Yeah.
You know what?
Allowing someone to mistreat you and tolerating the bullshit and putting up with it because she fine or because the pussy good or, you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff that's on and so forth, right? So it's great that you mentioned that, because that's what we talk about here with the men, and let them know, listen, man. And you said something that pretty much men now are getting away from, the whole cheaper to keeper thing. That we not on that shit no more, because paying with your happiness, paying with your sanity, right? That's a bigger price than any motherfucking price tag or amount of money can ever pay. So that's why you see more men, getting divorced and, filing for divorce and leaving relationships than we did in the past, because one of the things we don't like about the previous generation, the men especially, was them telling us that shit. Well, it's cheaper to keep them, man. Happy wife, happy life. Well, it's like, well, man, fuck that. I'm miserable. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all this shit and she ungrateful, or I'm doing all this shit. And like you said, she trying to fuck me over, and simply because I got to worry about some money to lose or whatever. Man, you better fuck that shit, take that L and build it back up, because I would rather, start from scratch and figure it out versus keep contributing to someone that's a leech, like you said, a spiritual vampire, right? The person they're just sucking your energy, financially and physically and spiritually, because you too scared to leave them, because you don't want to either start back over or you don't want to take a loss financially. That's just not feasible.
Baby, I just got out of some shit like that. So I definitely, when I don't care if it's a man, I'm not going to take up on no woman and say, don't do her like that. Leave that, fuck that bitch. She want to do you like that and take advantage of us. And out of all the good women that wanted somebody like you and we didn't get to meet you, leave that motherfucker alone, because you can always get you some more money, even though it's hard to start over and probably pay alimony and child support. It's better that you leave, because I stayed in something like that, and it wasn't because I wanted to stay. I felt like a slave and a victim, and lost a whole bunch of years and a whole bunch of money, and still the end result was the same.
Exactly.
Still had to fucking start over with nothing.
Exactly.
Barely got out of my life.
You're delaying something that's eventually going to happen anyway. So
yes,
that's why I'm telling you know what I'm saying? I got divorced back in separated in 2020, got legally divorced in 2022. And my ex, she's great or whatever, but we grew apart over time, and things happened and so on and so forth. We was married for 10 years, and it's just got to the point of where, like, what I'm saying, she did something that was really fucked up. I literally fucking helped her from like nothing to where we were at that point. So that betrayal, I wasn't able to just take it on the chin or just eat that. So I was like, look, man, hey, I can't do this. I'm out. Of course, she got I don't even want to call it alimony, but pretty much we agreed to some money or whatever for her to get, so on and so forth. She wasn't an asshole about it. She didn't go after my pension. So we agreed to terms, but pretty much to go our separate ways. And that's why I be telling a lot of dudes are scared to even broach the conversation, because it may be some times where, like, if you talk to her, hey, I'm not happy, you're not happy, let's work this out. Hopefully, what I'm saying, if you chose a woman that's not that karmic, just evil, spiteful bitch, what I'm saying? But yeah, I think, like you said, that's the when you stay in it, use that cheaper to keeper, happy wife, happy life bullshit or whatever. All you doing is just staying in some shit longer, and then you still gonna have to pay her anyway. So if you know for a fact y'all can't work it out, get the fuck up out of there. Like you said, fuck that bitch. Shout out to Young Joe, right? Fuck her.
Yes, I'm proud of you that you and your ex could handle it that way.
I appreciate it. Yeah. We and what's crazy is our relationship kind of got, we got a little better. You know what I'm saying? Communication was easier. We have a son, my youngest son. We have our youngest son together. The co-parenting is great or whatever, and it's just all the shit that was going on before. Just like it's not like it was when we, But yeah.
That's beautiful. You got a baby. You got a son. Wow. So you got something beautiful out of it.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, my last one of the he and will be no more made. But hey, is there anything else you wanted to cover? I don't want to take up too much of your time. You stayed well over an hour. I greatly appreciate you, all the knowledge, the everything you had to talk about and impart. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me get your channel. I'm gonna put your channel in the chat so everybody else can go, especially go listen about the midget, man. Y'all gotta go listen to her talk about this damn midget. Y'all gotta listen to her talk about this damn midget.
Remember what you said when we got on the phone and we were talking about the show, and I said, you said I love your old stuff, and I was like, I don't want to go back to that because people seem like they didn't take it seriously when I'm mixing the education with the comedy. So I try not to be funny no more. You remember you said that about that midget a few weeks ago, and I bust out there talking about, see, you laughing too.
Yeah,
me still be funny.
Up here, Cat talking about you ain't trying to be funny. Listen, I don't know if you ain't got to try. It's natural. Us Georgia people are naturally just hilarious. I don't know what it is. It's coming in the water. But hey, Mons, do me a huge favor, man. Spam her chat. Make sure you guys
thank you
and everything. And hey, I greatly appreciate you taking your time out your day, Miss Alexis. And hopefully, like I said, you got time or whatever, we can have you on again.
I would love that. Thank you for being so kind to me and everybody on here. That's your supporters being so kind to me. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, no problem. And everybody enjoyed you. Like I said, this was definitely a great show, and I appreciate you for coming through.
Thank you. I love them too. I'll talk to you whenever you want me to come back. Okay, bye.
Right, have a great one. I'm gonna drop the link for y'all, man. If y'all want to come up. Links in the chat, man. If y'all want to come up here and talk about it, whatnot. Let me get this thing going. Where I'm at? Where's it at? There you go. Damn, it's about to storm. Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Do me a huge favor though. Hit the like button for me. Oh, let me get to these other super chats. Shout out to Doug, man. Shout out to Doug. Oh, let me shout out to Brandon Green for the 2. Appreciate you, brother. I make it my business to go to black liquor stores. I don't know if that's you being funny on that one, brother, whatever. Hey, support black businesses. Shout out to Doug for the 10. Greatly appreciate you, brother. A1 Day 1 in the building. Shout out to man T Lee's with the member message. Damn, I gotta watch the playback. Oh, indeed, brother. And shout out to Chief Rocker for the 10, man. I greatly appreciate all of y'all. Hey, man. So hey, greatly appreciate y'all, bro, for AK subs. We growing, man. We growing and we going. And I got another something lined up for y'all on Thursday. You'll see what it is when I, make the thumbnail or whatnot. But this week I'm gonna try to do at least, like I say, 2 interviews a month. If I can get one a week, one per week, it's cool. It's a combination of local YouTubers, legendary internet people. Hell, I'm gonna try to get a couple of big name, not necessarily celebrities, but bigger people, so on and so forth. Just stuff like that, man. So I greatly appreciate y'all. Shout out to my man. Hold on, I want to say your name. Let me see. Shout out to Sir Tice, man. Well, oh shit, I missed that one. Well, no, she already off now. Tice just sent this. Shout out to Tice for the 5. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Ask if she knows Master Yao. I don't know who the hell Master Yao is. shout out to shout out to JC, man. For Alex. Oh, okay. Alexis is on it. Shout out to you, brother. And shout out to T Will 314. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Oh, you already know. Classic show. I appreciate y'all, bro. Shout out to y'all for all the cash outs, man. So yeah, man, listen. I keep telling y'all, man, y'all niggas done told me some wild shit over these years. And listen, I ain't saying I'm getting all the pussy in the world. Out here, man. Again, you know, I'm ugly, I'm broke, I'm whatever y'all say, I'm fat, I'm whatever. I'm all that shit. But listen, man, life is lovely out here. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Life is lovely. And listen, when you get into the bottom of that pussy, listen, trying to tell you, boy.
Don't let every man hit the bottom of your vagina, the root of your vagina.
But they don't know about the bottom. They don't know about the bottom.
Yeah,
y'all got to learn about that bottom, man. That bottom is to get you in places other shit can't. I'm telling you, she ain't coming to you like this, baby.
Yes, Daddy, come get this cooch. It's hot and ready like a Little Caesar's pizza, baby. Hot and moist. You're gonna have to lay me on a towel. Let me bend these legs back like a paper clip, bitch. Daddy, come get this cat.
Hey, she got to bend them things back like a paper clip, goddamn. Shout out to Creed. No, Creed. That was for that show only. Again, hemp, but about the only nigga that y'all will ever see me put a damn blazer on. And I wanted to fight it this time. I wanted to give y'all niggas just a damn sweater. I had to put my blazer on for you niggas. Exactly. Listen. No. Hey, D-Mac, you got to fool her a little bit. You go ahead, you get it in there nice and slow. But then, baby, you got, once you get it in there, you get that good rhythm going.
Don't try to make me take all that dick at one time.
Slow and easy.
He said, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not rush all this dick up in you at one time. I'm going to take it easy on you. She said, okay, I think I can take it. So he laid down. The nigga rushed all of that dick up in her.
That's a sad soul right there, Tia P. Sad soul. That's a sad soul, man. Listen, that bottom is crucial. You gotta be able to reach it, baby. Might have to turn her and twist her a little bit or something for you niggas out there that, you know, having difficulties. All pussies ain't built the same now. Some of them you might have to turn a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Might have to, you know what I'm saying? Saying so, hey, listen. Indeed, Creed. Yep. A lot of back dancing, baby. Back dancing champion. I don't like to dance standing up. Well, sometimes I do, but you know. But hey, man, listen. Y'all niggas ain't coming up here. I guess y'all laughing too hard and y'all don't want to talk about no motherfucking no Pam out here. All right, I understand. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Listen, we talk about that pussy over here all the time. You feel me? I got something in line for that too. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, figure that out too. I'm gonna get something going, but it is what it is. But listen, man. I keep telling y'all this shit. The reason why we had these conversations and whatever, and black people especially, black men especially, is because no matter what you say about it, how you feel about it, men need women, women need men, right? That is literally the way that the world biologically is made up. You keep the species going by men and women coming together and having children, right? That keeps society going. That man and that woman supposed to come together, either be in marriage or, you know, serious long-term relationship, monogamous relationship, and teach be the example for the children of what a healthy relationship is between a man and a woman. They raise that child, they give them morals, they give them values. You know, they make sure they get properly educated, they feed them, they grow up strong and all this other stuff and so on and so forth. And then they repeat the process. You know what I'm saying? They complete the fucking process, man, and keep it going. But you know, when everything's out of whack, and everything I said, this lady living in Atlanta, a black woman, light-skinned black woman at that, has confirmed it. I don't ever want to hear you niggas talk about, oh no, these women ain't fucking these niggas is fucking niggas. Yes, they are. I told you. Remember, we had the Ninja Turtle, the original Ninja Turtle looking bitch. All right, before Buddy, you know, Machoke, right, or Monchamp, whatever, whichever one it is, whichever fucking Pokemon, the Pokemon looking nigga went out here and bought a motherfucking a Ninja Turtle costume. We had the girl that looked like the real deal motherfucking Ninja Turtle. Hey man, can y'all do me a favor? Because I cannot find that fucking live stream. If y'all know what that live stream is or the title of it, bro, put the link or the title of it in the thing. I can't find my own damn live stream, man. Where the girl was talking about she don't mind having sex with bisexual dudes as long as they're not black. Cortez again, man. I ain't gonna say prefer, but they don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. Hey, you Joe Brody Z, you remember who I was talking about? Shawty looked like, but that was a horrible, terrible woman, man. That was a horrible, terrible woman. That woman was horrible, bro. Chuck Turner, hey man, listen, bro. I don't mind. But yeah, man. Great interview. More to come. Right? Prime said women in DC too. Yeah, listen, bro, they fucking everything in Houston, nigga. Niggas, bitches, cats, rats, dogs, turkeys, and turtles. They just a bitch walk by something in motherfucking Houston and just stick it in their pussy. Wow. Appreciate you, Cree. Appreciate your love. Houston is crazy. I told you. Listen, man. Did I say that yesterday or somewhere else? Yeah, man. Listen, bro. If I'm in Atlanta, I'm in Atlanta, or I'm in Houston, I'm importing that pussy. Baby, I gotta have some pussy from outside the motherfucking city limits, baby. That bitch gotta be outside a 50-mile radius. Can't do it, man. Listen, bro. Nigga, you'll be fucking patient 0 for the zombie virus, nigga. If the zombie virus come out of anywhere right now, it's gonna come from Houston. They wilding. Listen, Moxie Witz, you talking about the women, right? Because Moxie, we know there's no such thing as bisexual men. Okay, no such thing. Say DC just Atlanta with degrees and government jobs, man. Listen, man. Hey, Fred, I can't play with it, bro. Max so excellent, nah, man. I think you'd be good in Iowa or states, right? Some states I think you pretty much good. North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Idaho, Utah. I think you be good in places like that, brother. Oklahoma and shit. I think you'll be good in most of those, man. Yeah, and go. Or as I say, oh no. Yeah, Alaska. I think you good in Alaska. Yeah, Alaska. I don't know about Wisconsin. Because Wisconsin got Milwaukee in it, don't it? Can't use that one. Yeah, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, that shit. Yeah. But hey, man. Hey, I greatly. You say not Utah? That pussy on fire in Utah? That pussy hot in Utah? I can't believe they got no motherfucking STDs in Utah, man. God damn. But hey, man. Greatly appreciate y'all pull up on me, bro. That's that on that one. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Holla, we out.